Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Zyla 2019 fourth quarter and full year earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Should you need assistance, please signal a conference specialist by pressing the star key followed by 0. As a reminder, today's conference call is being recorded. If you have not already received the press release, you can find it on the Zyla.com website under the Investors tab. Leading the call today will be Todd Smith, Zyla President and CEO, who is joined by Dr. Mark Strobeck, COO, and Jesse Neary, Senior VP of Finance. During this call, management will make projections and other forward-looking remarks regarding future events and the company's future performance. Such forward-looking statements are not guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties, including those noted in this afternoon's press release and Zyla's filings with the SEC. Investors, potential investors, and other listeners are urged to consider these factors carefully in evaluating the forward-looking statements and are cautioned not to place undue reliance on such forward-looking statements. Actual results may differ materially from those projected in the forward-looking statements. Zyla specifically disclaims any intent or obligation to update these forward-looking statements except as required by law. In addition, for the full prescribing information, boxed warnings, and medication guides of Zyla's marketed products, please visit the product page on Zyla.com. A telephone replay of the call will be available shortly after the completion through Friday, April 3rd. You can find the dial-in information in Zyla's press release this morning. The archived webcast will be available for 6 months on the company's website, Zyla.com. For the benefit of those who may be listening to the replay or the archived webcast, this call was held and recorded on March 27, 2020. Since then, Zyla may have made announcements related to the topics discussed, so please refer to the company's most recent press releases and SEC filings. Now, I will turn the call over to Todd Smith. Todd?
Thanks, Eileen. Good morning. I hope everyone is staying safe during this unprecedented time. I want to thank everybody who is on the front lines of the medical care, first responders, service providers, and anyone helping others at this time. I also want to thank the Zyla team who are all continuing to work and support our efforts to make sure we can serve our patients that rely on our products. Over the past few weeks, we've been working hard to bring together what culminated in the announcement last Monday of the merger with Assertio Therapeutics. We entered into a definitive merger agreement that will result in an exchange of 2.5 shares of Assertio common stock for each Zyla share of common stock. The rationale makes sense for both companies and will result in what I believe will be the best-in-class commercial spec pharma. I'd like to review those reasons now. First, together we will have a leading branded prescription portfolio of NSAIDs in the U.S. This is important given the continued pressure on physicians across all specialties to utilize non-narcotic treatment options for pain and inflammation. Second, we have complementary call points which we expect will lead to revenue synergies and significant cost savings. We plan to have 3 strategic business segments across multiple therapeutic areas, including a neurology focus, a segment calling on traditional NSAID targets including orthopedic surgeons, women health providers, podiatrists, pain specialists, and urologists, and our hospital segment focused on pain and inflammation. Our complementary products resulted in pro forma 2019 net product sales of approximately $128 million. Our goal in 2020 is to have high single-digit growth with our combined revenues. We anticipate a 2020 non-GAAP adjusted EBITDA margin of greater than 25%. As part of the merger, we'll pay off our promissory note in full and the outstanding balance under our $20 million revolving credit facility. The combined company will also assume our outstanding senior secured debt of $95 million under amended terms that provide company flexibility for future business development. Finally, we believe the combined company will have the platform, profitability, and low leverage to position us to conduct additional business development transactions. I look forward to working with the Assertio and Zyla teams to bring this to close and to realize the value of the merger. So in a minute, I'll ask Mark Strobeck, who led the transaction on the Zyla side, to review the timeline and where we are in the process of closing this merger. So the reason we were well positioned to merge with Assertio is because of all the great work that our employees have been doing over the past several months. The full year and fourth quarter results highlight the strong effort we saw from our commercial team and how we managed our operations and expenses. Our $81.3 million in net product sales was in line with our guidance for full year 2019. we had $50.9 million more in net product sales than the $30.4 million for the full year of 2018. We grew net product sales to $19.3 million in the fourth quarter of 2019, more than twice the $8.5 million in net product sales for the same period in 2018. We were cash flow positive from April 1st through December 31st, and we had positive adjusted EBITDA for the full year of 2019. So before Jesse reviews the full financial results, I'd like to remind you about our differentiated products. First, Sprix is a nasal spray in an NSAID format for opioid level pain relief. Our SoluMatrix portfolio consists of Zorvalex, which is indicated for both the management of mild to moderate acute pain and osteoarthritis pain, and then Vivlodex, which is indicated for the management of osteoarthritis pain. We also have two forms of Indocin, a suppository and oral suspension. These products all bring differentiated value to the patients, along with our brand promise that emphasizes minimal hassle for healthcare providers and increased accessibility for patients. So in the fourth quarter, we began focusing on four areas. First, improving commercial excellence. Second, driving demand growth. Three, revitalizing our distribution. And fourth, improving our profitability. We began by reorganizing our commercial platform. Commercial organization is divided into promoted products and non-promoted products with analytics, market access, and sales teams that can both focus on the needs of all product families and share insights supporting both groups. In the fourth quarter, we enhanced our commercial effectiveness and accountability. We saw an improvement in number of sales calls per day and, importantly, an increase in the offices visited per day, driving demand growth. In the fourth quarter, we launched a centralized pharmacy for our SoluMatrix products, and in addition, we conducted evaluations to analyze ways to increase profitability. As we had shared in the third quarter, and the fourth quarter was a transition period for us as we focused on identifying new ways to enhance our efforts and results. So with much of the work that has taken place in the fourth quarter, we have seen improvements in efficiencies and production from the commercial organization in the first quarter. However, given the recent outbreak of coronavirus, we've had to adapt our approach to protect our employees and the healthcare providers we call on. Given the challenges doctors are facing continuing to provide care for the patients, we believe our products will continue to be needed. Since providers have limitations prescribing opioids over the phone, we believe that there will be a growing need for a product like Sprix that provides opioid-level pain relief but is not a narcotic. We've trained our reps on new tools that allow them to reach their target providers virtually. Given the need for social distancing, we have plenty of API and product inventory on hand and believe that we'll be able to meet the needs of our patients and providers through this time. Now I'll ask Jesse to review the fourth quarter financial results, and then Mark will provide an update on the merger. And before I do that, let me recognize the outstanding job that Jesse and his team have done managing costs and expenses in a year in which we expanded our portfolio by 6 products and recently agreed to merge with Assertio. Jesse?
Thanks, Todd. As of December 31st, 2019, we had cash and restricted cash totaling $12.4 million. Our net product sales increased $50.9 million to $81.3 million for 2019 compared to $30.4 million in 2018. Net product sales were $19.3 million for the fourth quarter 2019 compared to $8.5 million for the same period in 2018. These increases were largely due to the additional products acquired from Morocco at the end of January 2019. Our cost of sales was $41.4 million for 2019 compared to $7.4 million for 2018. The cost of sales for the fourth quarter 2019 was $3.5 million compared to $2 million for the same period in 2018. The full year increase was driven by higher product sales as a result of the new products we acquired at the end of January 2019 and the revaluation of inventory in connection with the reorganization. General and administrative expenses were $27.7 million for 2019 compared to $24.1 million for the prior year. General and administrative expenses were $5.5 million in the fourth quarter compared to $4.8 million for the same period in 2018. The increase in G&A expenses in 2019 compared to 2018 was primarily attributable to $2.1 million of higher stock compensation expense, $1.2 million of higher intellectual property costs, and $1.5 million of higher professional fees and insurance costs, partially offset by lower employee compensation costs. Sales and marketing expenses were $35.3 million in 2019 compared to $33.7 million in 2018. Sales and marketing expenses were $9 million for the fourth quarter compared to $7.7 million for the same period in 2018. The full year increase in sales and marketing expense was primarily due to higher consulting costs and marketing programs to support the products acquired from Morocco of $1 million and $800,000 respectively. These costs were partially offset by lower employee compensation costs of $500,000. Research and development expenses were $208,000 in 2019 and $8,000 for the fourth quarter, compared to $3.6 million in 2018 and just under $300,000 in the fourth quarter of 2018. This decrease was driven by a discontinuation of R&D programs that did not directly support the growth of Zyla's commercial business. Restructuring charges in 2019 were $2.7 million, which reflect costs of severance payments related to the reduction of executive officers and the closure of our Denmark facility at the beginning of the year. Restructuring charges were significantly less than the $17 million for the full year 2018, which reflected costs related to the discontinuation of Aramo ER of $8.2 million, a termination payment to Halo Pharmaceuticals of $3.1 million, and legal and other professional fees of $5.8 million. Restructuring and other charges during the fourth quarter were $1.3 million compared to $3.2 million in the fourth quarter of 2018. Our interest expense was $13.3 million in 2019 compared to $41.3 million in the prior year. Interest expense in the fourth quarter was $3.8 million compared to $1 million for the same period in 2018. The interest expense for the full year 2019 includes non-cash interest and amortization of debt discount totaling $6.1 million. The interest expense for the full year 2018 includes non-cash interest and amortization of debt discount totaling $38.3 million. Other gain was $3.5 million in 2019 compared to less than $200,000 in 2018. Our net income for the year was $60.6 million compared to a net loss of $95.5 million in 2018. The net loss for the fourth quarter was $6.2 million compared to $19.9 million for the fourth quarter 2018. Now I will turn the call over to Mark.
Thanks, Jesse, and good morning, everyone. The past few weeks have been quite busy as we have focused on coming to an agreement with Assertio on the merger of our two companies. For all the reasons that Todd shared, this proposed merger makes sense for both Assertio and Zyla. As we mentioned on the conference call last week, both boards have approved the transaction. Our stockholders and those of Assertio will now need to approve the merger. A large portion of our stockholders have already expressed their support of the combined company, and further discussions with additional investors are ongoing. In addition to stockholder approval, the merger is subject to the satisfaction of other customary closing conditions. Operationally, we have already created an integration team working in partnership to ensure the smoothest transition for our employees, our products, and the healthcare providers we call on. We are planning to make it through this process with as little disruption as possible as we look to create one company. Based on our early work with Assertio, we continue to believe we will close the merger in the second quarter. Todd, now I'll hand the call back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Mark and Jesse. We believe that the 2019 fourth quarter and full year results demonstrate our commercial growth and the path we're on towards commercial excellence. We've been discussing the importance of business development as a key to our growth. We believe that the announced merger is the right step for Zyla and allows us to expand our portfolio and provide the path back to NASDAQ stock market. We look forward to closing the proposed transaction sometime in the second quarter. Again, I want to thank the members of the Zyla team for their continued dedication to patients and providers during this challenging time. I've met with the Assertio team, and I'm excited to work with them to bring the merger to a close. We are committed to building value and appreciate the interest of the investors and analysts listening to this call. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. We look forward to updating you again soon. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email us at ir@zyla.com. Thanks, and have a good day.
The conference is now concluded. Thank you for attending today's presentation. You may now disconnect.